My name is Eve. I was the first woman on earth. My home was called Eden. I did not work myself up any wealthy ladder. I was created and put up the ladder in a complete garden that had it all. I had a handsome husband, a beautiful home garden with a perfect ambience. Talk about perfect home and a perfect garden. Perfect landscaping. We were the ultimate perfect family. My husband was the one and only, truly and literally. We lived in a perfect home. No diseases, no traffic, no thieves, no evil whatsoever. In fact, my life was so perfect so that God would come and spend evening walks with us. We were the true definition of a perfect home, a perfect world, a stable, happy marriage. That gorgeous woman, that gentleman, husband. Yes, yes, we were what everyone is looking for desperately today. A perfect world. Nothing broken, everything fully functional. The perfect spouse and friend. All the riches of the world. Everything perfect. In fact, we named all the things you see. Yes, we were this rich family that named this creation around you. We owned the whole garden. Wait, did I say own? I should correct that. We were given the garden by God to use and care for. We were custodians. We are always custodians of all ideas and concepts, never owners. I know what you're wondering. Was I happy? Indeed, very happy. Let me correct that again. I was always joyful. You see, happiness is momentary experience, but joy is a state. I was always joyful because we lived in God, with God, and followed God's guidance. We were always joyful, flawless, pure in God. Our garden was beyond beautiful. It was spectacular, even magical. Let me just pause there because the place was out of this world. Just imagine you had this refreshing river that refreshed and replenished the garden. The river began as one stream, then split into four rivers. It gave us a luscious greenery. The fruits, the trees, every vegetation you could imagine thrived in its perfection. Quintessential flora and fauna, you would say. Back to this river. Yeah. The river split into four streams. One was Pishon. This stream had stunning gold. Indeed, the best gold. It also had bdellium and onyx stones there. This part of the land we call Havilah. The second river was called Gihon, which flowed on the land we called Cush. The third was Tigris, flowing on eastern side of Assyria, and the fourth, the Euphrates. God, in His wisdom, had given us clear guidance on food. Yes, food. Why is everyone searching, seeking, working, rushing, hurrying, restless, looking for food? God commanded us to eat everything in the Garden of Eden, apart from fruits from one special tree, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Everything was fine until one day I was too near this particular tree, maybe nearer than I should have been, giving little glances to the tree, looking at its fruits, wondering what it would be like to taste them. We are tempted by the things we lust after. I should have turned away. I should have kept for more glances because the more I looked, the more I desired to know what it would be like to have just what. Ignore these thoughts. I shouldn't be thinking this way. Too late, a desire had grown in me. And at my weakest moment, the devil, yes, one of the angels who rebelled against God and was thrown out of heaven, he appeared in the form of a snake and started playing with my lusts. He questioned God's commands to us with words like, did God actually say you shall not eat of any tree in the garden? I should have been alert to know at this point that I did not need to answer. I should have not engaged. I should have walked away. Maybe reached my sweet husband so he'd also see this interesting animal that spoke like us. No, I spoke too soon, too late. In fact, I added my own little detail to the truth. You see, God told us to eat everything in the garden, but never to eat the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. My additional rule was not touching the tree. I engaged a crafty and a sly beast in talk. He alluded God was lying, spoke and dropped my lust. The fruit was what we needed to be like God, he said. I must admit that by this time I suppressed the truth in me. I opened up to this new ideology. It sounded life altering, profound. In retrospect, God was right. We would die. On the other hand, the beast was lying on all fronts that the fruit would make us like God. We were not good enough. We needed an upgrade. The truth remains we were already in the image of God. We were like God. We were His children. We had spent precious moments in the beautiful sunset, loving and laughing with God. We had the most precious gift anyone could ever have. We had God. But I chose the lie, ate the fruit, and shared with my charming husband. I have never felt the anguish in my heart that filled me up in that instant. No justification would wash it off. In the moment we disobeyed God, something changed in us. Not in the beautiful lie I believed, but in a dark way. We felt naked. All our pure innocence was gone. We were afraid, a dark feeling we had never dealt with. We had God, our Father and friend, come to join us. Our instant reaction was to hide, cover up with lips. There is a holiness God has put in humanity, and that's how we love and reveal God. This is the biggest treasure that humanity needs to stop and understand. You will look to fill this place with wealth and relationships, conquest and power, and the more you do, the darker humanity sinks. Only in God you're alive and fulfilled. In an instant, my perfect marriage became absolute betrayal. My husband denounced me, blamed his guilt on me, more like saying God's idea was wrong and he was okay until I showed up. I had to blame someone. Well, I was partly to blame, but I wouldn't go down without a fight. The beast. Yes, the beast. We were so afraid and acted and spoke in so much fear. We had the sound of God walking in the garden on a cool day. We dived behind the trees. We hid. We had never done this before. This disobedience had opened in us a dark side, a sinful side, a corrupt and broken side that God had shielded us from. Too late. Truthfully, God asked us very kind questions. Where are you? My husband blurted out that we had him coming and went hiding because we were naked. A spiral of events. God asked us, who told you you were naked? Had we eaten of the tree that he commanded us not to eat? We should have ended all the guilt by saying sorry. Turn back to God. But the guilt, shame, that feeling, sin, yes, sin had nabbed us. Well, 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 here we are. This is my story. I am Eve. My story ended sadly. Obviously, we lost all this luxurious living and had to get out of the Eden and start our garden from scratch. But we did not lose God. How thankful to God. We will always be indebted to Him. He is loving and amazing. God lovingly spoke a beautiful blessing after letting me in on the consequences of my sins. He was going to bring a Savior through my fellow women who would restore us back to God by destroying the devil. After all that I had done, God treated me not the way my sins deserved. He is merciful. You might be wondering, what consequences did I get for my actions? A painful childbirth experience, and that my desires would be contrary to my husband's. These consequences can only be guided and aided by God. As a mother, as a wife, the pains in these roles are best handled by hiding in God. I must let you in that God blessed us with two adorable boys. Yeah, heartfully so, the elderly. He killed the younger, and he left. I lost both sons, but God blessed me with another boy. This was God's way of comforting me for the loss that I went through. My name is Eve. I found joyous memories the most when we were in God, with God, and obeying God. Psalms chapter 19, verse 7 to 11. The law of the Lord is perfect, reviving the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. The precepts of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandments of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eye. The fear of the Lord is clean, enduring forever. The rules of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired are they than gold, even much fine gold, sweeter also than honey, and drippings of the honeycombs. Moreover, by them is your servant warned. In keeping them, there is great reward. My name is Eve. Thank you so much for listening in on the story about Eve. She happens to be the first woman that we get to hear about, and many, many more women stories to come. Thank you so much for being with us to the very end, and God bless you so much. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much, and thank you to God for helping us to do this. Yes, 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 yes. If you haven't started watching, let's do this together. Let that woman in your life join in, listen in, and let's grow together. Let's see ourselves through the lens of God. God bless you so much. Bye bye.